For a fighting game, there are an absurd amount of extra game modes, so I thought it'd be fun to rank every single mode that isn't just regular versus matches. I won't include the trophies, album, or chronicle as game modes because they don't really count. We'll be basing this list simply off how fun they are and how much replay value each mode has. So with that said, let's get her ranked. 41. StreetSmash. It seems like someone forced Sakurai to implement Street Pass functionality into the 3DS's Smash game, because what we got is the most throwaway mode I've ever seen in a video game. All you do is control a token and hit other players off the battlefield. Its only real use is to unlock some challenges. Otherwise, I don't know why anyone would ever play this. 40. Lottery. I almost didn't include this as a game mode, but it's used to unlock trophies, so I figured it barely counts. Simply put 1 to 20 coins in the machine and pray you unlock trophies. It's only better than StreetSmash because at least you get some sort of value out of it, but you're not doing anything more than you see. 39. 15 minute. There's a certain charm to fighting the wireframes or alloys. You feel really powerful because it only takes 1 or 2 hits to knock them off the stage, so you can plow through several enemies in quick succession. Most of the modes, however, are just okay. Like this is the 15-minute mode. Why do I need to play one match for 15 minutes? You do this in Melee to unlock DK stage, but otherwise I don't feel compelled to go through all the characters to play this. 38. 10-man. So this game mode has the opposite problem. What is the point of just taking out 10 enemies? I guess you could say there's a speedrunning aspect to it, but even so, it's way too short. There's better versions of this game style that we'll get to later. 37. Classic mode for Wii U. Classic mode didn't change much until the 3DS and Wii U games came out. The core idea of playing versus matches is still there. Sometimes you'll fight a horde, fight on a team, or it can be as simple as giant and metal characters. The issue with this is that often you're forced to compete in 6 to 8 player matches. That is pretty BS because not only does 6 to 8 fighters leave you with no control of what's going on, but it makes completing some of the challenges way harder than it needs to be. The randomness is taken to the extreme. The Master Core fights are very cool, but good luck completing Master Fortress. 36. Cruel. Sakurai is a bit sadistic because Cruel mode has been in every Smash Bros since its inception. Simply put, the enemies are stupidly powerful. In most circumstances, you'll have to use a cheese method to get any kills at all. I get that there's some appeal to taking out enemies this hard, but to most, you'll die once and never want to try it again. 35. Masterpieces. The idea of playing the original games that Smash characters came from is ingenious, but the execution is pretty mediocre. You get very little time to play these games, the longest demos only being around 5 minutes. There's a lot of games that seem to be missing from the Brawl and Wii U version as well, so while it's neat for history's sake, it's kinda pointless after trying the demos once. 34. Stage Builder for Wii U. Seeing Stage Builder grant the ability to hand draw is a perfect idea in concept, but the execution is just okay. It always seems like the amount of space you're given fills up way faster than it should, and there's next to no parts to use. You got springs, cannons, moving platforms, and magma. That's it. And there's still not a lot of backgrounds either, with only 5 to pick from. Sadly, this is more of a downgrade to Brawl's Stage Builder. 33. Smash Tour, or a horrible version of Mario Party. You run around a board trying to collect stat boosts. After the turns, there's a final battle with all your stat boosts and characters collected, and the winner of that battle wins the whole game. The major flaw, however, is just how random and confusing the board is. You get these tour items which do random things to other players or the board, and the frequency of these items can cause you to go from being in the lead to dead last with no way to control over what's happening. With Mario Party, there's some strategy involved, but here there's absolutely nothing. 32. 3 minute. We're starting to get into the more balanced multi-man modes. 3 minute is often how long a normal Smash match is, so it's way more likely you'd come back to this and trying to beat your score. 31. Classic mode for 3DS. A slightly better version than the Wii U's. This time you get to pick your path. Each path is basically picking between easy, normal, or hard fights. You'll get rewarded more for harder paths, but of course they're more challenging. It just feels weird to call this classic mode when it plays nothing like classic mode. Like the Wii U version, it's just versus matches with no bonus modes like break the targets or race to the finish thrown in. It makes the entire mode fairly bland. 30. Target Blast. Remember when Angry Birds was a thing? Lucky for us, we get to relive that time with Target Blast. You hit a bomb for 10 seconds, then smack it forward to hit as many targets as possible. The 3DS has 1 stage, while the Wii U has 3. If there was like 10 or 15 stages, I honestly might rank this a little bit higher, but once you've gotten your achievements, there's not much point in playing this again. 29. Classic mode for Brawl. Classic mode started to get stale when Brawl rolled around. With the roster growing so exponentially, something had to change to keep the formula more interesting so people would play this mode with every character. The answer to this problem was kind of solved. Instead of random characters, at least one fight revolves around a character's universe. In between those fights are target test levels, so it's not too bad, but it definitely goes on for longer than it should. 28. Tournament mode. There's not much to say here. This is just a mode to set up a tournament. This was something I did a lot as a kid with CPUs, but it's also great when you're with a large group of people. It's a nice way to freshen up regular matches, but not much more than that. 27. Trophy Rush. A bunch of boxes and explosives fall onto a stage, and you have to destroy them as quickly as possible. When you fill up a meter, lots of coins, trophies, and custom pieces drop all at once. This is probably the best way to unlock trophies and custom moves for the characters, and while it can be fun, there's not much to it. 26. 100-man. Instead of the measly 10-man mode, 100-man has more oomph in it. The matches last a little bit longer, and it feels more rewarding getting a good time. Although for some reason, Ultimate changed the name to Century Smash, and I don't know why. 25. Endless. Instead of 10 or 100 fighters, it's as many as you can do before dying. This is one of the best ways to go about brawling tons of fighters at once. There's much more incentive to continuously increase the amount of fighters you can KO, and you can also keep track of how fast you're doing this. 24. All-Star. This is a great idea that slowly made less and less sense over time. The goal is simple: take out every single fighter in the entire game. In Melee, this was really cool when there were only 26 fighters. It was a solid challenge that didn't take very long. But when you get to Smash for Wii U with over 60 characters, this mode starts to become a drag. It was rebranded in Ultimate as a multi-man mode, which at this point is the best version and the best way of playing All-Star. 23. 1P game. Ah yes, the OG classic mode. For every character, the fights are exactly the same, except the target test and board the platform stages, which change based on the character you're playing as. You'd think that I might critique the fact that the fights never change, but when there's only 12 characters on your roster, it really doesn't matter that much. 22. Special/Custom. Smash Bros is awesome because there's dozens upon dozens of ways to play the game, and these special modes really enhance that idea. In Melee, you could all be giant, or be stuck at 300%, or play in slow-mo. It's nice to have something like this to freshen up the normal matches. This idea was taken further in Brawl, where you can combine these things like metal, giant speed, and even the stage's camera, which allowed you to create one giant mess. While this mode has remained in every game, it hasn't really been updated much since, which is a bit of a shame. 21. Home Run Contest. Who would have thought such a simple idea could be such an incredible game mode? You've got 10 seconds to whack the sandbag and hit him with a home run bat to get the farthest distance possible. In later games, there's a bit of a barrier to let you get more hits in and prevent the sandbag from falling off the stage too early. There's something just so charming about the sandbag. I've got a freaking plushie of him and I don't even know why. 20. Coin Launcher. The most meta idea ever. Take an 80s style arcade-based shooting game and use coins as bullets to attack enemies to collect trophies and stickers. I used to spend hours unlocking all the goodies. And what's funny is this mode really didn't need to be in Brawl, but Sakurai made it anyway and I love it. 19. Training. The name speaks for itself. You can pull out any items you want, look at damage ratios, adjust the speed, and things like that. Ultimate's version is incredible because there's an exclusive stage for training, you can pull up a trajectory guide, and even control which assist trophies or Pokemon come out of Pokeballs. 18. Stage Builder from Brawl. There's a surprising amount of depth to this version. You've got several floors to work with, and those can be resized and rotated. Tons of structures can be placed too, and there's even features like moving platforms, ice, drop blocks, and spikes. There's a couple of glaring issues though. One is that there's 3 backgrounds that all kind of blend together. The other one is everything's on a grid, so it's hard to be creative. But for a first attempt at a stage builder, it's pretty darn solid. 17. Smashdown. Here's a mode that only makes sense in Smash Bros. Ultimate. You'll go through your usual matches like normal, but once you've used a character, you can't use them again. You keep playing until you've gone through every character, and you win by winning the most matches. This is another one of those simple ideas that works so well, because there's something so cool about watching the roster shrink down, and you get more and more limited on who you're good with. 16. Master Orders. Master Hand presents you with 3 different orders, each ranging in difficulty. By winning these orders, you'll get certain prizes like coins, tickets, or items. What makes this so fun to play is you're always getting something in return for winning quick matches. It can be quite addicting to say the least. 15. Rival Smash. This mode seemingly came out of nowhere. Now you're facing someone else trying to get KOs. The goal is to get more KOs than the other player, and it is surprisingly fun. There's so much more strategy in figuring out if you should steal KOs from your opponent or just go with what's around you. 14. Adventure Mode. I've got such a conflict with this mode. On one hand, it's loaded with mini cutscenes and tons of things to do. You'll go from running around in a Mario level to escaping planet Zebes to running with the cars in F-Zero and finding the Triforce in a maze. These things make Adventure Mode an amazing time, and they really immerse you into each character's world. But then the other half of this mode is just battles that don't change. Adventure Mode is amazing in small doses, but it's not something to marathon through with every character. 13. World of Light / Spirit Board. This may be placed a little high for some, but I feel like World of Light is a tad underrated. The majority of the time, you're running around a map unlocking spirits, saving characters, and completing hundreds of customized battles. There's a few cutscenes thrown in, but it's not very much. The spirits really make this mode great. You can level them up, enhance their abilities, combine them together to summon new spirits. I mean, honestly, it's like Brawl stickers, but 10 times better. There's even a skill tree and shops to go to, so I'd say in small doses this mode is really great. Admittedly, it does get boring if you were to play several hours at a time. 12. Crazy Orders. This is similar to Master Orders, but a little bit better. You still pick orders and unlock stuff for winning, but now the difficulty ramps up when you play more matches consecutively. There is a huge risk and reward factor here. You'll gain tons of rewards for playing several turns in a row, but lose everything if you die at any point. You'll finish this by fighting Crazy Hand too. It's so much better than you would expect. 11. Classic Mode for Melee. By far one of the best versions. Each fight is randomized, which makes sense for the size of the roster. But on top of that is Break the Targets, a bonus stage where you'll snag trophies, an enhanced version of Race to the Finish, and the possibility of Crazy Hand at the end. There's so much variety crammed into this classic mode that it is a blast to play with every character. 10. Stage Builder from Ultimate. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but they did a damn good job with this version. You can still hand draw your pieces, but the restrictions have been lifted much more. And what's better is you can easily rotate your hand-drawn pieces or put them on rails or switches. These few extra additions, plus several more textures, can make some really awesome levels. There's also more hazards thrown in, so you can have a lot of fun with custom stages. 9. Squad Strike. This is a mode I've wanted for a long time, and to see it come to fruition is a dream come true. In normal matches, you pick one character and you can only use them for the whole battle. But in Squad Strike, you can pick multiple characters for one fight. This alone changes the dynamics to an incredible degree. Everyone's strategies have to change drastically as new characters are shuffled in. 8. Board the Platforms. It's sad that this was only ever in Smash 64. Every character has a custom level, and you simply have to stand on 10 platforms. What makes this mode so fun is each stage is catered to each character's abilities, so you're learning how the character works while also being challenged at the same time. 7. Break the Targets. The name explains itself. You go through stages and break a bunch of targets. The mode is fantastic in Smash 64 and Melee because everyone has a custom stage, just like in Board the Platforms. Break the Targets is also in Brawl, but there's only 5 stages that everybody can play as. I understand why they did this since the roster was getting too big, but it's still a little sad to see. Board the Platforms and Break the Targets are stupidly addicting when it comes to trying to beat your times. 6. Boss Battles. How is this mode not in newer titles? In Brawl, there's 10 different bosses, and the objective is to beat them all without dying. The boss battles are really great because they're all really interesting, challenging, and each character has to go about them in different ways. 5. Challenges. One of the few Nintendo games with achievements. Each Smash Bros. Has a giant board with hundreds of challenges to complete. A handful of these challenges can be stupid or too difficult, but a lot of them add tons of replay value. And heck, if you're really stuck with one of the challenges, you can just use one of the limited golden hammers to unlock the challenge and reward. 4. Classic Mode from Ultimate. I was very worried about Classic Mode when Sakurai announced that every character would be in Smash Bros. Ultimate, but he somehow pulled off the very best version of it in 2 ways. 1. The pacing is perfect. It doesn't go on for too long or too short, and there's a bonus level on top of fights. And 2. Each character and boss is related to that character's universe, so kind of like what Brawl did, but to a higher extent. I had a blast marathoning through all the characters and seeing which references were included. 3. Event Match. This has to be the best variation of customizing Smash Bros. Matches. Some of them have objectives that you can't even do normally, like only being able to attack with a Pokeball Pokemon, or you can only KO with a a 9 from Mr. Game & Watch. Event matches are only in 3 of the Smash Bros. Games, but they're always an amazing time to run through to see what ideas they've come up with. 2. Smash Run. If there's any reason to keep Smash Bros. On the 3DS, it's for this mode alone. Smash Run is heavily inspired by Kirby Air Ride City Trial, where you'll run through a huge map collecting stat boosts and fighting enemies. What's so cool about this mode is the huge variation of enemies, and they come from several different IPs and even the Subspace Emissary. At the end, you'll use your stat boost to either fight or complete some random thing that's exclusive to Smash Run, which only makes you come back to it to see everything it has to offer. 1. Subspace Emissary. I could see some people disagreeing, but the scope of this game mode is absolutely insane. This could literally be an entire game on its own, but no, it's a side mode included with Brawl. You've got dozens of fantastic cutscenes that mash together all the characters into a story. There's loads of platforming levels where you'll unlock fighters and collect stickers and trophies along the way, and it's all wrapped together into a package so epic that I don't know how Sakurai could ever top this. The only downside is the Great Maze, and some of the levels can be a bit dull, but they had to be accommodating for every character to be played through them, so it makes sense why the level design is a bit drab at points. And there you have it. Smash Bros. Is loaded with game modes, whether they be good or bad. If you want to play them all, you might need some G Fuel to keep up with everything. Make sure to use code Bandy to save 15% off your order. But with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all in the next one.